12:09. I hope you're doing fine. Yes, it's 12:09 and I hope you're doing fine. So, folks, the twine of time is our evening's rhyme. Yes. Are you ready for your class? Are you ready for your extra master class? Yes. This is the classes of all classes for those who really want to be mentally set with the time. And what is the time, folks? It's Saturday. Saturn Day. It's Saturday. And it's 12:09. I mean, it's just Saturday, just now. And 1 and 2 is 3, and 3 and 9 is 12, which is 3 again, right? There's no there's no coincidences in this world. Presented to you by Johnny I Spy. I'm quite the guy. I will get you high just by telling you why. And I'm going to tell you why you're going to have to get really prepared over the next few days for the next 15 years to come, right? This is it, guys. We're looking at a 15-year period that hasn't happened in 248 years. And we have it all mapped out for you. It's so nice. What we all just need one, sort of plan, and that's like a good 4-year plan, right? And that 4-year plan will traditionally just flow into the 15-year plan, but to get the the first steps of the bridge in place, get that map, get the first steps of the map, going across that uncharted area. The beautiful thing about this is that we know that Scorpio likes to get to the point, right? And we know Pluto and Mars are those two buddies that like to make Scorpio what it is. And we're going to get moving really quick here. Can't take forever on this. It's a big podcast, guys. And we're going to go with this guy right here. We're going to go with a place of history. The reason why I come to you tonight is because to give this new supplemental package of this cardinal signs of Cancer, Capricorn, Plutus that I have, right? I mean, remember, we're writing the New Millennium Bible here. So we're really going to understand these cardinal signs, right? Because where do we find the bishop, or the cardinal in the church, right? So to pinpoint this whole entire so-called World War III, because that's what you want to do, right? You do what I have done. I'm going to show it to you right now. I've worked it all out, folks. This little blueprint right here, this little page that they wrote for me, so I can share with you. And I'll just basically present the charts of science of our solar system, of our time, of our zodiac, to go correlate to what we have here as a marker, as a identification tag on in our forensics lab for tagging World War III and the battles of it and the highs and the lows, everything to the stars, right? Because that's where it is. I mean, if Big Brothers are going to mess up, Big Brothers are going to mess up with our taxpayers' money, and they're going to bring us this war, and then they're going to keep us from being able to be taxpayers, just to be able to be taxpayers and making us, not making us anything, making us extinct, right? I mean, we can't pay taxes anymore, and then, then they run their fuel for the army, right? And the fuel in their war machine, right? Because the war machine needs a bank, and the bank needs some taxpayers to have debts, right? And their interest rates and what have you, and our hard-earned hours going to these guys, right? If we could just slow the banks down, because it's funny, guys. It's actually funny because in the charts I'll show you tonight, we could show you the finances. We could learn all about finances and banks and wars and governments and institutions and churches. We're gonna look at all that tonight, just by understanding the operation of two guys in one sign over a 15-year period, right? So here we go, guys. So everyone's talking about when will this happen, or what will happen, or why is all these different things are happening. We're gonna go about it right now. We're gonna go right to the seed, okay? And what is that seed? Well, we got to go to the number one point of the seed, okay? Okay, so we started off at the history place. The first battle in history, this is the top 10 battles, okay, of history. Most notable battles that had the most significance and the greatest turning tides of time, okay? These battles. We got number 10, Battle Vienna, okay, 1529. And we scroll down, because we don't have time to read all this. Battle number 9, Waterloo, 1815. That was shut down by the hands of God, as you know, because Tambora went off and basically created the year without a summer. 2016, or not 2016, but 1816, right? Sorry, my fault. Then we're gonna scroll through here. Number 8, Battle of Huai, right? Maybe I said that wrong. I'm sorry. 1948, Chinese Civil War, right? Way high. Why high? I know. I'm not gonna I'm not gonna bastardize that title anymore. That battle, I should say. Okay, battle number 7, atomic bombing of Japan. Okay, that is only number 7 for most, changing the, and that battle. I mean, that's just one bomb, right? It's absolutely horrific, right? So that was 1945, and then we move on to Battle of Cajamarca. That's 1532. That's number 6. And then battle number 5 is Antietam, American Civil War. Antietam. That's 1862. I'm probably saying these all wrong. I'm sorry. This is my first time with this. I only get one take per show. Battle number 4 is Leipzig. Napoleon Wars. This is the Napoleon Wars, 1813, right? That's number 4. And then we have battle number 3, Stalingrad. Stalingrad. Sorry, I gotta polish up on my pronunciation. Or Stalingrad. My fault. That's a joke, eh? Stalingrad. I can't believe I mispronounced that. What can I say? It's 12:17. After I get done the show, I'm going to bed. So that's World War II, 1942 to 1943. And then we go to battle number 2, Hastings, Norman conquest of England. That's 1066. And then finally, the number 1 battle of our time is Battle of Yorktown, 1781. Battle of Yorktown. And what I've done for us here, now that we know that this battle is like the most significant turning place in it, and believe me, this is when all of it's happening, right? Because it's still yet another 15 years of basically doing things. This is a kickoff time period. And what is this 1781 date? What puts the 1781 date in motion is what we have here. Declaration U.S. The Declaration of Independence. Okay, the Declaration of Independence, 1776, right? 5 years later, 1776, and look what this 1776 date is doing. It's a Pluto at 27 degrees, 33 minutes. He's hanging out there, and it's a Pluto of 27 degrees, 33 minutes. That's what it is, right? And what happens is I have two other charts here for you. I have the Battle of Yorktown, and this is the chart for the Battle of Yorktown. And I could go back and show you and read to you the paragraph there. But what I want to do is just get right to the charts. The fact of the matter is, this is when cannons really made a difference in the war, and it's all about. And that was the big story about this. Um, this war is that's the ceasefire, and this is the actual battle. Let me bring that up for us, okay? So this is the Battle of Yorktown. We have look what we have here, and this is a very significant battle. I mean, it started October 9th, and by the 19th, it was a complete unconditional surrender, right, by the British, right? Very big turning point. And look what do we have here. This is our big prepping point, right? Because this is when, well, this is basically what we have now. What we have now. And look what's happening here. At this battle, Jupiter is getting ready to make his new conjunction to Saturn, okay? There's a Jupiter and Saturn conjunction coming up. And more likely it's going to be in Sagittarius. I highly believe it. You know, we're going to bring that chart to you because this is part of this playlist, right? Because this battle, it's right before this Jupiter and Saturn. The conjunction is just probably not even 4 months away, right? I'll have to bring that chart up. I have a bunch of Jupiter and Saturn conjunction charts. But we're going to bring that one up. But the thing is here, that which starts right here, is on this date, we look at Pluto, all right? We look at this Pluto thing, and where is it at? This is where wars and gold go together, right? And Mars, wars, and Pluto, they're all hanging out together. But here we are, Pluto is in the second house, you know, with the Jupiter, for the U.S. as a Sagittarius ascendant, which is a Jupiter rulership, right? Pluto's in that second house of Taurus, right? He belongs. It's like a touch base, you know, kind of thing. Like Pluto in the second house retrograde, it's like a touch base kind of thing because his buddy Mars rules this. It's like, well, not quite a touch base, but yeah, I would say though because there's an Earth sign in there, right? Because Pluto needs cash, right? It's massing. In order for that's why he rules wealth, right? He rules, you know, and he's in that house of debt, right? He's in that there's that Capricorn overlap where he's at. He's at that place, and there's going to be a debt with the war, right? And the war is all about, you know, basically freedoms and taxes and what have you. You know how it is. You know what it was all about with the concept. There was a tea party for Pete's sakes, right? You know, representation. You know, representation in the parliament, right? Taxation without representation. I think that's what it's all about, right? So you know, you got civil wars going on. All this stuff is happening, right? On these big turn points. But here we are. We're gonna look at these guys, right? Because tonight, I'm sorry if I'm hurting your eyes. Tonight, we're gonna look at these charts, right? We got the Battle of Yorktown, and look at how the chart starts off. It's absolutely got Uranus overlapping in Aries house, and you got Mars, Pluto, and Pallas Athena sitting in that first house. But Pallas Athena's in that Pisces, and she's in retrograde. So when you look at this thing go, and here's Ceres, right? Look at Ceres. You know what she's all about? She's all about agriculture stuff, and she's in that native. She's in that native Venus house, right? Of the second house. But that second house is also about, you know, the worth. You know, it's a Venus, and then there's the Pisces overlap with the Neptune, right? Because there's Neptune rising. I mean, look at Ceres. Okay, she's opposed my sun. I can't believe it. But this is an amazing chart for the beginning of the war. Look where everybody's at. Look where's everybody, because it's only going to go crazy. It's only going to go crazy until the ceasefire, which is just like 8 days away, right? It's like 8 days away. I mean, the cannons and everything, and the roaring. He's got himself organized, and holy cow, what a chart to place against another chart. You get the birth chart of George Washington, and then you place Yorktown. These two charts, you place those to Washington, and that is absolute craziness. Okay, when you see that leader, right? You see the captain, right? What he did, right? who went on to be the first president, right? This is it. So here we go, 1781, Yorktown ceasefire, okay? Now, this is it. Look at the chart, okay? Yorktown ceasefire. Look who's doing what. Right here, before the ceasefire, look where Mars is, okay? He's 2 degrees away from Pluto. This is that whole entire bloodletting thing, right? Metal in the blood and the underworld and all this kind of stuff. And Aquarius, Uranus, the disruption, all the bombastic and brutal ways Uranus knows how to control the day, right? And you look at Uranus, right? Look at Uranus. Look what Uranus is doing. And most importantly, you gotta see what the sun is doing here, because here's the battle right here, the day and everything, and the approximated hour of when it started that made the most sense. And look how everyone's sitting. Saturn's at home. Jupiter is preparing for its conjunction with Saturn months to come, but Juno's right in the middle there, right? Jupiter's, little girl, and she's quite little compared to Jupiter. That that he's overwhelming Jupiter, right? So here's the 10th house of Saturn, right? Look for this chart. And the beautiful thing about all of this is to watch Mars, because here he is on the 9th, and in 8 days, which is like a Scorpio kind of. And look at the ascendant, right? Look at the ascendant, which is so perfect, right? The ascendant, my sun is 2 degrees 30. My sun is 2 degrees 34 minutes Leo, right? Look at this, and look where it's starting. The whole entire thing is 2 degrees. Mars is there at Aquarius, right? Mars is totally opposed to my natal sign for this war. How does this keep on happening? Would you ever like to know? Because once I'm done with this planet, we will definitely know. But the Pallas Athena, now look at the Pallas Athena here. Okay, now let's look at the approximated ceasefire, okay? They're throwing in the towel. The British are throwing in the towel. Look at this. This is what's so magical about these charts. Is that this is the ceasefire the 17th. In 2 days, on the 19th, unconditional surrender, right? What will happen in 2 days? Where the moon will travel in 2 days? Nearly to Sagittarius, right? Look where he's at right now. I mean, well, not nearly Sagittarius. He would be nearly to Sagittarius. Not quite. 2 days. Yeah, I'll have to bring the chart forward, but he'll be up here for sure. But the big reason I didn't want to spend that much time having the third chart there, the next chart, but it would have been good. I'm sorry. Excuse me, please. You can know how it works. I'm showing you how it works, right? Because why? The nodes of fate. The sun will cross over the nodes of fate during this time period. In the next 2 days, that's the kicker of the whole chart. Nodes of fate. The head and tail of the dragon. The dragon is the war, right? So plain and simple. And when we come down here, look where Pluto is. Pluto's, finishing up in Venus, and Pluto's finishing up in the Saturn overlap of the second house of Taurus, right? The second house of Taurus, like Wall Street, the bank, right? And Pluto is that sign of wealth, but also that god of death, right? So, so positive light and, negative darkness are kind of like guy, right? Pluto? And what we have to know about this here, now that we've looked at this chart, Yorktown ceasefire, And to know this degree right here, 4 degrees and 6 degrees, is to now look at these two charts we have right here. We have the 2024 and the 2026, and there is also a 2028. Every 2 years it will happen, okay? And what we have here for our 248 story tale, because our 248 year story legacy of Pluto is Pluto has been massing and massing and massing all the way through the signs. He's been massing. What has he been massing? He's been massing the flesh he needs for war, right? You know, because this is a spiral, right? From this baby battle, right? This 8-day battle, which is so close to the October 7th battle, you know, October 7th, 7th rain of missiles down on Israel. Because we got to think about this part, right? We have to think about this October 7th date that has just passed. And look how this date matches up to that October 7th day. And I'll bring that chart out, right? We'll bring that chart out and up and coming, because we're not done with Capricorn yet, folks. I mean, Pluto hasn't left Capricorn yet, and we are going to thoroughly know Capricorn and Pluto, right? And Mars and conjunctions and everything like this, because we're coming up on it, right? It's days away, right? This is 2024 here. This is February 14th, our Valentine's Day. Our Valentine's Day in the house of Aquarius, the unexpected. We're really going to know how to get prepared for Pluto and unexpected things, because it's these angles to Pluto while he's in Aquarius. You know, the house of unexpected, the house of disruption, the house of unprecedented, the house of electricity. You know, this is Uranus, right? The consort of Earth. And here we have years of Pluto conjunctions, right? As I said, there's a 2028. I got a whole bunch of them all the way up, but we only need from now. We got a 4-year plan, right? And this, because that's how Pluto works. This is how this whole time Mars will come through, do his things with Pluto. That's what he does, and then he'll leave, right? You know, it's during that conjunction time point that it's like that new moon, that new moon chapter, their meetups in every single sign. But this time they've been meeting up through all of these other houses until now, and look how everyone has grown. It's a massing of flesh, right? The larger the population, the larger the war can be. The larger the disruption, we can cause with the earth, right? This is it. This is what 248 years of study has shown me, and we're going to see this right now, because what we're going to do now is we have two charts right here. We've looked at these two charts, the Battle of York, and then we have the ceasefire. We have these charts. I can come out and actually shrink it down for you so you can do your screenshot. Okay, here's this one, and then you can screenshot this one as well. That way you can do your studies. Because we're all astrologers here. This is all given out. Now, here is the cat's magic, folks. Because we want to keep everything to the point. We want our children to know that these countries, these individuals, these people that have the finger for plutonium and the trigger of disruption that plutonium can deliver, right? Our children will know that we have full consciousness that these guys were absolutely wrong, right? And the heavens said so, right? Because this is it. This is a correlation in astrology for our time and for our leaders, right? So here we go. This is how it goes. Joe Biden, born on November 20th, 1942, at 8:30 a.m. Okay, so what we got here for him, we have to look at how, look where his Pluto is, okay? His Pluto is going to be at 7 degrees Leo, okay? Are you catching my drift with Pluto? And are you catching my drift with the ceasefire that we have here? With this Pluto at 4 degrees? Okay? There's a connection there. Get it? Got it. We got it all, right? We understand that part. And then look where his Mars at. His Mars will be at 12 degrees Scorpio, right? So his Mars, the Mars in this chart right here, will absolutely throw that angle. It will actually be a square. This will actually be a square to his Mars. See the friction? That's where that is. Okay? So we know this. We know that Pluto is going to be opposing his natal Pluto. And we know that Pluto has been, during his natal Jupiter, which is at 25 degrees Cancer, will absolutely be opposed the U.S.'s what? The U.S.'s Capricorn at 27 degrees, okay? See how it works? That's how we have these players, right? We got them by the toe, you know? We know they're Pluto, right? That's Joe Biden, okay? Vladimir Putin's next. The next youngin, right? The next youngin. Johnny Ice Spice got him down, right? We're tagging our dragons tonight, guys. We're tagging them, right? We got them all tagged. Before they have their war, we're going to know exactly who's going to feel the tension and do what, because Pluto is going to influence all their lives. There's degrees in their lives, right? Pluto is moving at 0 degrees Aquarius, right? So we know that Pluto moving into that 0 degrees Aquarius, that's where Pluto's going to be, right where I showing us. It's going to be right there in his 8th house of legacy. In his 8th house, ruled by, look where Pluto is. Pluto's at home in the 8th house, but there's that Leo thing, right? There's that sun. Illumination of, he's in that first account of the sun, right? And then look at Jupiter. Look at this right here. But most importantly, we know that angle is going to be there. And then look at his moon. There you go. I'll blow it up for you. That's Jupiter, eh? To blow it up for you. Look at that. The moon. 0 degrees Taurus. 59. His moon wants to be 1 degree Taurus, okay? That will be squared. All right? That Pluto is going to square, and then the Mars is going to square, and it's going to basically square his moon, right? We're talking about the date coming up, We're talking about this February 1st date coming, February 14th date coming up here, right? 26, 24. Look at this. February 14th. Look where the sun is, but look where the Pluto and Mars 46 degrees, and his moon. Look at this. The Pluto and Mars are 46 degrees, and Joe Biden's moon is going to be there at 59 degrees Taurus, okay? Next guy on the list. These are the guys that are on the list. We have this summer to look at right here, because the conjunction is what's happening right now is starting up right now, right? This is the first conjunction like this, and as you saw before, in this chart right here for 1781, Pluto will do this once every, Mars will do this. I'm pretty sure this will be the first year Mars is able to catch up with Pluto on this Battle of Yorktown. So I'm pretty sure I'll go back and check to see what 1777 looked like, but no, Pluto was still inside, right? Because it's 1781, 1776 is the Declaration of Independence. So 1777 or 78, you have to look at that will be in there. And then this is the 81, right? But this guy right here, it's pretty easy street to see it, right? Now we're going to go to the next player. The next guy that's going to have a red hand, right? That Pluto Stinger, right? So we all know that Vladimir Putin is a Scorpio rising, right? So Pluto is his Pluto is his chart. He has the rockets named Satan, right? The missiles named Satan. That's his choice of words, not mine. And here I am. I am a Leo with a Mars in Scorpio at 3 degrees, but I'm a Leo with a Gemini ascendant. So Pluto is not my ruling planet, right? But my Mars was basically, designated to mirror his work, right? But in a way of the father, for the father. Because look at his Pluto. His Pluto is actually in Leo, right? His Pluto is absolutely in Leo at 22 degrees, right? And Pluto is going to catch up. Pluto is going to make his opposition to his Pluto, right? And look at this guy. Look at this guy. Look at this Aquarius thing. Look at this. He's got a node. Look at this node of his at 18 degrees Aquarius, right? So you got to wonder what that's going to be like for him in the years to come. But look at this degree at. Like, where is this conjunction coming up here? See? He's got a, unlike Joe, this is the difference. It's so funny how it works. Because Putin is younger than Joe, right? Joe is a 1942 baby, right? And he's got that Taurus moon at 1 degree, right? and here's Vladimir, 1952, 10 years younger. He's the younger kid on the block. And here he is. He's got that moon at 3 degrees Gemini, right? And his moon is conjunct my ascendant because my ascendant is 1 degree 55 minutes. It's 1 degree out. And the Pluto is going to try. Pluto's going to be trining my ascendant. It's going to be trining my ascendant. It's going to be trining his moon. And my ascendant is talking about his moon, right? And what it's going to do like a baboon. Because he's got a little trigger finger, this guy, right? He's a Scorpio. He's got a Scorpio ascendant, right? He's like a Peter McKinnon with rockets, right? Okay, so here we go. What do we got? What do we have here, okay? We have that moon connection, right? We know that this guy is definitely tagged. This guy is definitely all connected to these Pluto conjunctions. Now we got the next guy. The next younger sibling, right, of the Plutonian bunch. We don't have an actual ascendant for him. We have a hypothetical time of birth, but that's okay. We are looking for that 0 degree mark, right? Because we know that Mars doesn't move very fast. We know it takes him. When he's moving good. We know he takes about 33 Earth hours when he's in full trot. We know he could take 1 degree in 33 Earth hours. We know this, right? And this is it right here. This is the thing about this, because we have this 0 degree mark. It's an inconjunct, right? Pluto will be inconjunct his Mars at 0 degrees. But look at this mean node, eh? His mean node down here, we'll blow this up for you. His mean node is 5 degrees Aquarius, right? So that Pluto conjunction, that Pluto-Mars conjunction is going to be close to him. He's going to have that feeling there, right? But to his Mars, it's inconjunct. And then look at his moon in Leo, which is only 3 degrees from my. It's only 3 degrees from my sun in Leo, right? His moon in Leo. Look at it. So wild is it, right? And here he is. Pluto is going to be opposed his moon. None of these guys are looking very favorable, right? For this, we got Putin. It's somewhat favorable for him, right? He's got trines and stuff like this. But this right here for China, Pluto's going to be opposing his moon, and the conjunction is like, it's like the 2026 one, right? That Pluto, holy cow! I mean, this leader is not going to do. This leader will have a very hard time over the next until 2026, because that Mars and Pluto, that the 2028 conjunction actually comes. The 2028 conjunction actually comes in directly opposed his moon. Right? It's like It's like perfect, right? 6 degrees. The That's where the 28 conjunction is. They said it's the next 4 years, right? But and that's how this is, because see, Mars is going to do his thing with Pluto, and you know how Mars is. He's got to come in and show up. He's got to do his take care of his business, and then he's off and doing his own thing again, right? And that's what happens in this when they meet up, right? They get together, they germinate what they have to do, and then Mars is on his way. He's hot and cold this way, right? Everyone knows how Mars is. And this 2026 date, this 2028 date, as I said before, is going to be directly opposed. It's going to be directly opposed that natal moon of his, right? And then, it's going to be in trine. I mean, there will be, there's the 2030 date will be like trine. The 2030 date would actually be trine his Gemini, Jupiter. That's what the 2020, because I got dates all the way through there until, because you got to understand, remember, Pluto's going to be doing this Aquarius thing. Mars is going to meet up with Pluto every 2 years, and it's going to be what we have from this. I mean, if we look at the historical account, of the battle here, of what went on from October 9th, by the end of September, Washington had united his army from the north with the rebel Southerners. He now had more than 8,000 Americans along the 7,000 French soldiers to encircle the 6,000 British defenders. On October 9th in 1781, the Americans and the French began pounding the British with 52 cannons while they dug trenches toward the primary enemy defensive redoubts. See? And it goes on, right? It goes on until they give up, right? And then this is how we have to look at this coming up, because Mars will, it's like, when you put an inflammatory in your body and, you have aches and pains and everything like this because you got an inflammatory, you have inflammatories in your system, right? That's what Mars does with Pluto, right? It's an inflammatory thing, right? Pain, aches and pains from inflammations, right? And then you find a cure. You settle things down. You cool things off, and Mars is on his way. But you got 2 years to wait until he does it all again, and that's how it works with because there's just going to be more problems, right? I mean, the U.S. has been at war for 90% of the time, and Pluto in Aquarius is, Pluto is in Aquarius is sometimes like, I mean, there's lots of enlightenment in Pluto. It's just, how can we learn to shut down the war thing down? Because Mars likes to amplify the war side of Pluto, right? The death side of it, but at the same time, there's that electrical experience, right? Of, I mean, look at what kind of experience it is lighting up those cannons, right? I don't know. I mean, somebody likes to hear those beating drums of war. Okay, so the last player, the youngin of the bunch, right? This guy was Xi Jinping is 53. This guy is the youngin of the bunch, 1960. I mean, they're all boys, right? Look what he's got here, eh? this guy on the hypothetical, he's at 0 degrees Aries, right? On the hypothetical, what's the likelihood? And you look at the guy. Do you look at him and say, couldn't? Do you think you could pass for an Aries? And here we are. So let's just find it out here. I mean, 0 degrees Aries. What's the likelihood of you drawing a hypothetical um, chart for December 14th, which is not quite February the 14th? You know what I mean? Here we are, December 14th, and look what we got, guys. Look for this chart, eh? He's got the star. He's got the star in his chart. It's just at the very beginning, right? This is Ibrahim Razi, right? Ibrahim Razi, okay? I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right. I wasn't planning on doing this chart. As I said before, lots of times, right when I don't even think I'm going to come up with an idea, the idea just pours in right in my head for what I have to do, right? So that's how I know it's the Father, because a lot of Leos get their insight in a flash, right? And that's how it is with me. I'll be working the brain all day long, and then it'll pop in, and then all of a sudden, right when I just, it's that eureka moment. Because the Father knows I'm going to be done with my day. As I said, I'm born at 1:41 a.m. It's 12:50 now, and I'm just about done with my day, right? It's the last hour of the day. That's what I'm giving you, right? It's, living each day like it was last, like it was its last, just like someone like Madonna or some other Leo I would know. But here we go. 0 degrees, right? You send it. What we want to do is look for the planets, right? Pluto is the guy. He's 0 degrees. We have Venus and Aquarius. Look at this, eh? So we have a Jupiter, Mars, and Pluto. There you go. The 2026 date. So these two dates right here, the 2026 date, this is it right here. It's so easy to tag, right? So easy to tag this whole entire bank of war. Mars and Pluto, Pluto rules, Mars rules the blade, right? Here we go, the two warlords of war. And then here's the two dates. If you haven't did your screenshot, those are the two dates right there. The 2024, and there's the 2028 date. The 2028 date, they're all very impressive dates. They just move along. And we're gonna know this because holy cow, all the Capricorn dates, I have videos for all these things, right? So when you go here, you look at this, because we got lots of great information for the last 15 years. I mean, the internet's been going crazy. We have all kinds of information on what these two do when they get together. Holy cow. The dates I have for you coming up. Whoops, did I slip out Easter egg? Here we go. So here we go, 2026. It's at 3 degrees. Right now he's at 0 degrees. Then it'll be at 6 degrees. And it will be moving over. It'll be moving over his Venus right there, right? And then look at the Virgo there. But the Leo, he's got a Leo. So in his, I don't know, is the guy going to be around in 10 years? Are any of these guys going to be around in 10 years? This is what's going to be a very interesting part of all this, right? Because we're going to be able to figure it out. And this year is the kicker year, right? As I said, here we go. His Venus is in Aquarius. We're going to do this transit. That's going to be like the next chart we do. Because we're looking at all these charts. We're going to pinpoint these dates because we got a whole bunch. We got the key players. They can't go anywhere. I got them. I got them by the tail. Look at the North Node, right? Look at his node right here in Virgo. And what we have to know about this, with his node in Virgo, the south tail, like the Ketu, all right? We have to look at this. Rahu and Ketu, okay? So he's going to come through here, the south, the tail of the dragon, the north, the south node is going to come through here and it's going to hang out with this guy in X amount of years, right? Holy cow! It won't be very long, and it'd be less than it'd be just a little bit around a year, right? What's going to be happening to that guy with that node? You know, and look at that Pluto. That Pluto's not too far away. That node's going to come by and hang out with that Pluto, right? And it's all with what this Pluto and Uranus, this Pluto and Mars conjunction, or Mars and Pluto conjunction, will be happening over his Venus over the next 4 years. Every 4 years, because like it happens every 2 years. I guarantee you, the next 4 years of his life is an unexpected playtime with Pluto and Mars, eh? Yeah, it's gonna be an interesting time, guys. I need to show you these players and what they're doing, right? We have the charts here. We have all the charts of the guys. We know when they're born. We have this 4-year plan in place, and we know that mentally we'll be more prepared tomorrow. You following this podcast, we both know we'll be more prepared for the next 4 years of our life, just because we're well aware of what Pluto and Mars likes to do in a disruptive but enlightening sign called Aquarius, right? The sign of Jupiter, or not Jupiter, but Uranus. My fault. It's late. It's 12:56. Time to call this a quit. But look, I hope you learned something. I hope you got something out of the video. As I said before, I mean, astrology is very simple when we just go at it day for day, and you can gain clairvoyancy through this practice, because I'm sharing you a clear picture, right, of what Pluto and Mars is like in Uranus. In a Uranus factory kind of house. Aquarius. Think about the Frankenstein guy. Uranus is that really weird guy, because on one side, he's that proper, unassuming gentleman. It turns into a nutty professor, and then when it's a full moon, he becomes Frankenstein with a lightning bolt. This is Aquarius, right? Alright, guys. Talk to you tomorrow. Good homework time, eh? It's always good to get that homework done.